Hi, my name is Dawn Walton and I'm a cognitive hypnotherapist. And I want to talk to you today a little bit about my weight loss coaching program. And you can read more as you browse around my site. But I want to explain first what weight loss coaching means to me. Those of us who struggled with weight all of our lives have shown amazing resources and amazing resilience and determination, because most of us who struggle with weight have been on various different diets, and most of us will be able to tell you the stories of how much weight we've lost on those diets. But the problem with diets is that they're a temporary thing. They're something we do for a period of time, and then at some point we have a day off, we have an event, we have a week off, and when we do, we pile the weight back on because our body sees a diet as a form of starvation. If you track it back to the original caveman days, our body thinks, okay, we're in a time of famine, we need to shut down, slow down the metabolism and prepare to survive through this. And then the minute you stop a diet, the minute you start eating what you might call normally, it stocks up again. So it goes, okay, we don't know how long this is going to last, quick, let's stock up with all of that food. So the problem with diets is that they're a temporary thing and they can actually lead to weight loss, weight gain, which is not really constructive. I believe that weight loss is an emotional thing, or weight gain is an emotional thing. I believe that it is our subconscious that drives us to behaviours that make us gain weight. Behaviours like snacking throughout the day even though we really don't want to. Behaviours like always having to finish everything that's on your plate even though you feel stuffed afterwards. Behaviours like binging, where you might go into a quiet place and not let anybody know, eat what we might call bad foods and feel guilty as heck afterwards. I'm not a nutritionist. I don't know what is good and what is bad food. But what I do know is there are things that you can do to help unlock the emotional connection to food that your subconscious is driving and give you the freedom to have a normal relationship with food in whichever way you choose to. And as a result of that, you will inevitably lose weight. Now, at this point in the video, you've listened to me for a while and you might decide to turn off. So if you want to stick around, let me just explain a little bit about why I think it's the subconscious that's driving our connection to food. Our subconscious is actually driving our behaviour for up to 90% of our day. That's a lot more than most people think. Most of us think we're all consciously and rationally in control for most of the day, and occasionally we get a wee bit hijacked. But that's not true. Can you think of the times where you walked out the front door and you think, did I lock that door, when you're halfway down the road? Or you drive through a set of traffic lights and you think, were they really on green? Was that okay to go through them? That's because you're in a mode where you're being driven by your subconscious, a kind of autopilot. And that's most of our day. Most of our day we're being driven on that autopilot. And the thing that's interesting about this is our subconscious is pretty primitive and it's pretty emotional because it's evolved to protect us from attack. It's evolved to protect us in the caveman days where the saber-toothed tigers came running at you, and to go instant into a reaction. So an instant emotional reaction is what our subconscious drives. Ah, tiger, run away. Ah, tiger, fight. Not, oh look, a tiger, have I got the right shoes on? Did I bring my best spear with me? Where do I stand? So our subconscious is designed to work like that. The problem is that these days there are no saber-toothed tigers and actually there's no predators. So the protection that our subconscious is doing for us is protecting us from emotional harm. So a primitive emotional side of us that is in control most of the day is protecting us from being emotionally hurt. You can see why there might be a few problems with that, can't you? Let me give you an example of why that causes lots of problems for people as they get older. Up until about the age of 10 to 12, we tend to store our memories in a very binary, very black and white way. So, for example, if you were to run a race at 8 years old and you came second in that race, you might store a memory in your subconscious that is, came second in a race, didn't like the feeling, doesn't feel good to lose. Tell you what, let's not do kind of competitive stuff because then we won't get hurt when we don't win. You wouldn't remember maybe that you had a big breakfast first thing in the morning, or that the person who beat you was a championship runner. All you would remember is you came second in a race and you didn't like it. And then later on in your adult life, somebody suggests that you get involved in some competitive activity and you go, oh no, I don't do that. That's kind of not for me. And you have no idea why, but that's your subconscious protecting you from getting into a situation where it might hurt you. And it's doing that all the time. And particularly when we struggle with weight, it's doing that all the time. It believes that by keeping the weight on, it's protecting us in some way. By driving certain behaviours around food, it's protecting us in some way. Even though consciously we're constantly saying, I shouldn't do this, I should be able to control it. And the world judges us as well. And the world says you should be able to just stop eating if you want to lose weight. But it's not that simple, because there's a very big part of you that thinks it wants you to be okay. It wants you not to be hurt. And the best way to do that is to eat. That's what I will do in my weight loss coaching program. I'll work with you to understand what having the weight on really means to you, where we really want to get to, and then we'll do something using my cognitive hypnotherapy skills to unblock that emotional connection, to free you up to as normal a relationship with food as is right for you. And by doing that, the weight will come off in time. And it may not be as quick as these extreme diets that you can go on. Absolutely, you could probably go on a diet tomorrow that would be very extreme, that you could lose all the weight that you wanted to within a matter of weeks. But the weight we lose will be a natural, healthy, safe rate, and it will be permanent. You can't have a day off when you've reframed your whole subconscious and all the drivers in your relationship with food. When you've changed your relationship with food permanently, there is no such thing as having a week off or changing your habits. You have a permanent change, and that will lead to permanent weight loss. So I hope you found this interesting, and I hope you'll have a look around my site, and if you find it interesting enough, maybe I'll hear from you soon. Take care.